it's always uneven, right? There's always usually, and it doesn't work out perfect 80-20, but usually there's 20% of your customers that are worth 80% of the profit. Right. And there's 80% of the customers that are worth 20% of the profit.
We started talking a bit about where he's getting his current clients and the data from his business. I'll let you kind of go in on that, about essentially the idea of where's 80% of your money coming? Do you know your numbers? Do you know your data? Which he didn't know off the top of his head. He's gonna get
I mean, that's what, and we were both asking these questions, which is like, when I always look at a business, I'm always looking at what is the lifetime value of a client, right? And what does it cost to acquire that client? Or put differently, what are you willing to spend to acquire a customer? Because once you understand what you're willing to spend to acquire a customer, then you can start to be creative about how you're going to acquire that customer, and how, because you know how much it's worth over the lifetime, right? So what we were looking at was, we were asking him, do you know this? And he didn't know. And the other thing I also asked him was, out of all the customers you have, right, in every business, there are customers that make more money than other customers, right? So what you want to do is you want to look at that data set across, and most likely it's always uneven, right? There's always usually, and it doesn't work out perfect 80-20, but usually there's 20% of your customers that are worth 80% of the profit, right? And there's 80% of the customers that are worth 20% of the profit. And what we asked them to do was get us that data. I did the same thing with my agency. I was kind of spreading myself across all these different niches, and I realized that one niche was basically 90% of my profits. So how I doubled and tripled that business was, instead of going after all these niches, went after the one niche where the clients paid more, they stuck better, there's more recurring revenue, and went after that. And those opportunities are available if you look at your own business, to look at the data. And that's what we were trying to figure out. I was asking him, what are the routes that make more money? And he was like, well, you know what? We make a little bit on the routes from Las Vegas to LA, but we make like 400,000 when we go from LA to Europe. So the question then becomes, okay, if they're worth 40 times more, how do we get those people, right?
Right.
And what common characteristics do they have? What are the identifying factors? Where do those people hang out, right? What's the bait that's going to attract them, right? That's, I always, who are they? Where are they hanging out? What's the bait, right? And then where we got to bring them, right? What's the ultimate goal in selling them?
Right. Let me just show this really quickly while I just want to make sure everyone, I know I kind of went fast on this, but this is Biz by Sale. Is what I was just referring to. This is businesses for sale. And all they are is really like exactly what I made in the training, the pool cleaning business, right? And it's, if you click on these, this one's in, looks somewhere in California. Let's click on it real quick. So it's a Temecula pool route for sale, gross revenue. So what they're doing is they're simply building up these markets. They have 67 residential accounts and one commercial. Cash flow on this established in 2019. So they're turning and burning these things really, really quickly, right? And they're doing it over and over and over again because they have their own. They actually have their own business broker part of their business too. So you can tell this is a great model for them. So this model, remember, success leaves clues. This model can be replicated if you're a good lead generator, and everyone in here is starting to become that. I think the bigger message was stop undervaluing the abilities of being a lead generator, because there's people out there who have probably less skills than you that are putting on, really like, this one might be different, but they're putting on 55 residential accounts and 2 commercial, right? $7,200 a month in rev, and they're selling these things, asking price. Of course, they probably don't sell for that, but you look at this, and this is it. I mean, I think every one of us can agree, getting 55 customers for a pool cleaning service at 100 to 150 a head, it's not that difficult, and every one of us with our abilities in here could do that. And then turn around and sell the route to someone that doesn't know how to market like you guys are being taught to market, right? So going back to like the plane business, right? The jet rental business, right? And Mike kind of bringing up this 80-20 rule of, look, 80% of your money probably comes from 20% of your customers. A good exercise a lot of us should be doing, especially if you're just getting your first couple of clients, or you have your business already up and rolling, you've been in this group a long time, is if you want to go shake and rattle the tree a little bit, go to the client that you're working with already, ask him to pull some data for you from his business or her business, and try to understand where the bulk of their revenue is, because what you'll probably find is areas that you're missing in your local lead gen search strategy, where you can go after a different set of clients. You're fishing, remember, in a kind of a different pond, right? The buyer that is going from LA to Las Vegas in a private plane is paying, $5,000 to $6,000, right? The client going from LA to Europe is paying $500,000, right? And so you can understand where that person that does that international trip, or that, maybe coast to coast trip is, which has more profit built into it.
Mhm.
You're going to become a better marketer. So the reason I wanted to talk about this was because myself, I forget about this stuff all the time. I forget about where customers that bring me a lot of my revenue, I forget about getting into the weeds, getting into the data on where their money is coming from. And I usually just default to my magic trick, which is I can rank a site in any market and local. It's super easy. I can generate leads, and I can get paid by this business owner. But I think you can add a lot of additional revenue streams, a lot of additional income, as well as understand that industry quite a bit better. And that will help you not only in that current client you have, but if you want to start going vertical, and vertical means pool cleaning, like these guys have done here.